Having survived colonization, we are now transitioning for the environment of tomorrow, but we're doing it at our pace, our scope, our size, because we're now self-determining again.
So in 2014, we did our first land use plan, the LUP, and within that LUP, we looked at all the land on reserve and created Kanaka's first vision to use that land and resource in a self-sufficient, sustainable, and a vibrant manner. The CEDP, the Community Economic Development Plan, talks about how we're going to become self-sufficient at the level of people, at the level of food, at the level of energy, at the level of finance, by investing in foundational infrastructure, foundational policies. We broke that plan down, we narrowed it down even further, and we said, well, let's do 2 plans each year. One in the summer, and then another one in the winter. It makes us accountable, it keeps things transparent, it keeps the community engaged. So that's the whole idea of summer plans and the winter plan.
The way the world's going now, I mean, it's so important. The cost of living is so much. And I mean, if we could, harvest our own food, I think, we would be set. I mean, we wouldn't have to depend on all these fruits and veggies being imported if we can supply it ourselves.
Lots of stuff changed around here way back in my younger days. Like they didn't have a health center when I left here, and they didn't have this band office when I left here. There was nothing here. So when I came back, it was in change. The garden, it's good. It was in changing.
Health is a holistic perspective. So it's mental stability, emotional stability. Granted, we can't all achieve that. Physical stability, as well as spiritual stability. So all those 4 components need to be served in order for a person to be healthy. What Kanaka is trying to do in this community is basically revitalize old ways of living. And I guess that came from a realization that the new way of living is leaving people unhealthy in all those 4 dimensions. And so they're trying to go back to old tradition, using the land in order to resuscitate health.
Kanaka Bar is helping the community and the economic development by various projects that they have, their initiatives that they've started, and they continue and they present it to the community, and there's feedback, and I just think it's all positive here. It's great. It's encouraging too to listen to what other community members are doing just at their own homes. You can see, and the pride here it's when they say they're from Kanaka Bar, it's a lot of pride.
The teamwork is, I think, between everyone here is just amazing. The level of togetherness, everybody having the same kind of mindset to have a community that's ultimately self-sufficient. And the projects that we're doing, like the raw water irrigation project, it helps us build self-sufficiency in that we don't really need to rely on chlorinated water, treated water to build up an agricultural infrastructure. We just can use the creek that we already have, the natural creek in the community, to feed the garden, and ultimately build up agricultural, small scale industry here at Kanaka that we can ultimately export and achieve the financial self-sufficiency, food self-sufficiency, ultimately transferring these into other self-sufficient goals that here we have at the Kanaka Bar.
So the food forest system here it's only a year old, and we're already seeing an incredible amount of biodiversity. There are bees buzzing through here now, some of which are the bees that the band is keeping here for honey, of course. but also lots of native bee species and wasps and beneficial insects. We have chickens down there who are providing eggs for the community and also eating scraps that come from food leftovers and turning that into manure, which we're now composting, and that will go back into the gardens as well. We have probably 25 different kinds of trees here, fruit and nut trees, 60 or 70 different shrubs, and hundreds of different perennial herbs and medicinal plants. So again, they're all put together in a meaningful way so they support each other, and we have a system that evolves that has ecological functionality over time. And yeah, having a tremendous amount of fun and laughter while doing it. And for me, that's one of the big things is getting away from the notion that agriculture is drudgery. It is also really therapeutic and soul nurturing when we start to work with soil and we work with plants and we work with living things. We really reconnect with what's around us and with each other and with ourselves.
Yeah, it's really good. I'm really hoping other community members can get themselves involved in this, so that way, like I'm 65 now, I'm hoping another younger person would come in and really get into it and stick with it. Ever since that kayak project was happening, we're getting funds from it. So the funds we get from the kayak project is going into this to make this happen.
Kanaka developed a project of its own and has been using the funds in a very kind of a wise manner to create a sustainable future for the generations that are yet to come.
So as part of the energy self-sufficiency that Kanaka is trying to achieve, one of the things we are doing is renovations on the homes. Once we did those renovations, they actually cut down on their heating bills throughout the winter. We did, I believe, 13 homes renovations last year, and we're just tidying up 6 renovations this year.
Well, so recently we just completed this. It's one of the 1-bedroom units. Below this is a 2-bedroom unit. All as part of our energy efficiency theme, in addition to the infrastructure theme. You can see it's pretty new build with solid energy efficient infrastructure and appliances, wiring. It's pretty spacious, right? Like you look at it.
Wow.
And there's a nice view that you can't get anywhere else. Over the summer, our plan is to do a few things. Test a wind tower this time around, because it's one thing that we haven't really explored. So we'll hopefully be able to put in a small wind tower. That's that, and then obviously the hydro project that we've been working towards, it's the Siwash Creek Hydro Project, which was recently, BC Hydro in fact announced it's going to be one of the 5 projects that they're willing to negotiate an agreement with. So that's a great news for us, and we're still working towards that.
Oh, I like it, like I said, because I'm working here, and then they got me working before when we went to the other chief, and I was barely working there. They only had a couple of people here, but now I like this new chief. He's doing a lot more for us than our other one. That we're working, like there's way more of us working, and we all like that. And there's way more things happening now than before. Yeah.
The world often judges success by profits and returns on investment. The hydro project we built is a profit center, and as a result we're able to generate revenue streams that help us do other initiatives like the solar projects, which are at net zero, so they're not generating a profit but they're offsetting expenses. Those are called tangible benefits. Here at Kanaka Bar, we also measure success in terms of intangibles. To the best of our knowledge, we're one of the only communities, if not the only community, without suicide, and we haven't had a documented suicide attempt in over 30 years. We have no children in care on reserve. We have 100% graduation, and for the most part, we have 100% employment. All this is because of the self-determining outcome of transition to renewable energy.